it fun.
Good afternoon, everyone. What did you all think of Governor Mike Pence's speech today? It was a confirmation that Trump would send Roe v. Wade into the ash heap of history, sign a fetal pain ban, uphold the Hyde Amendment, defund Planned Parenthood, and appoint justices like Justice Scalia. Now that's what I'm talking about. It is my pleasure to be with you today. Our next guest does not need much of an introduction. You have all heard of him. This David alone is responsible for exposing, in a 30-month investigation, the underbelly of the Goliath abortion industry and Planned Parenthood's sale and trafficking of baby body parts. As a result of his videos that have been proven to be 100% authentic by an independent forensic analysis done by Coalfire, we know that various top abortionists of Planned Parenthood and biotech companies were caught on video discussing the illegal sale of baby brains, hearts, and livers. Following these shocking revelations that stunned the world, in October 2015, the House Select Investigative Panel on Infant Lives was formed and started its investigations into the abortion industry and the business practices of the procurement organizations who sell the baby body organs. Their investigation so far has produced hard evidence of invoices, receipts, order forms, and Excel spreadsheets showing the order and sale of baby body organs. Investigations further revealed that Planned Parenthood facilities and STEM Express have violated federal privacy law and the privacy of women getting abortions by disclosing their personal medical information without their consent in order to match up their baby's body parts with the people ordering them. They care for their bottom line, not for women. The investigation also revealed that STEM Express committed fraud. All who have been subpoenaed are urged to cooperate with this investigation as it continues. David Daleiden has appeared on many TV and radio shows, including CBS, ABC, Fox News' channel, Hannity, and The O'Reilly Factor, CNN's New Day, The Eric Metaxas Show, and many to name a few. Recently, Texas dismissed all charges against David Daleiden. Can I get an applause for that? California should take note and follow in Texas's footsteps. His win is a vindication of the First Amendment rights for all citizen journalists. Citizens journalists should not be the ones who are threatened with 20 years in prison while the actual organizations like Planned Parenthood are let off the hook. Taxpayers should not be forced to fund an organization that hurts countless women, kills over 325,000 babies annually, and then sells their baby body parts. Thank you, David, for exposing this atrocity to the world and showing the evidence. Please help me give a big hand to one of the bravest men I know, David Daleiden.
Thank you, everybody. It's an honor to be back here with all of you again this year. It's been a pretty incredible past 12 months, hasn't it? It's hard for me to believe everything that's happened since the Center for Medical Progress began releasing our undercover videos of Planned Parenthood's senior-level leadership eagerly negotiating the harvesting and sale of aborted baby hearts, lungs, livers, and brains for profit. Those videos have over 12.1 million views on YouTube alone. In those videos, we see Planned Parenthood's top abortion doctors and executives cavalierly discussing how to change their abortion methods to get the best quality body parts out of the unborn children that they kill, and how to turn tiny baby organs into an extra profit margin for Planned Parenthood's bottom line. This is all completely illegal. This is all known and promoted by Planned Parenthood's leadership, and it is all funded with our tax dollars. But the scandal over selling aborted baby parts is the last issue that Planned Parenthood wants to talk about this year. It's the last issue that they thought they were going to have to talk about, and it's the last issue that they're prepared to talk about in public. We now know from documents leaked from George Soros' Open Society Foundation that just a few weeks after CMP started releasing videos, Planned Parenthood begged George Soros Foundation for an emergency grant estimated to run up to $8 million to try to cover their tracks and distract the public. The Soros Board of Directors, according to the leaked annual reports, said the videos had, quote, upended America's biggest abortion business, and that and this is a direct quote, that their long-term consequences involve the substantial eroding of Planned Parenthood's credibility and reputation. Even George Soros and his globalist minions know that there is nothing defensible about using custom late-term abortions to harvest the highest quality baby body parts to sell for the best market price. I would like to show some of those videos as well as some of the other things that have happened in the past year as a result now.
So I say, okay, what are you looking to supply today? We've been very good at getting parts on liver.
Dr. Deborah Nucatola, Planned Parenthood's Director of Medical Services, an abortion provider discussing how to collect body parts from aborted fetuses over lunch at a California restaurant.
So I'm not going to crush that part. I'm going to basically crush below, I'm going to crush above, and I'm going to see if I can get it intact.
So what ethicists said to me is, look, if they were giving women abortions and they changed their technique, they changed their practices in order to get the best quality tissue after the abortion, that's problematic.
For example, so I had 8 cases yesterday, and I knew exactly what we needed, and I kind of looked at the list, and I said, all right, this 17-weeker has 8 pounds.
I just want to show the audience, this is what a 17-weeker looks like. This is not a pro-choice argument right now, or a pro-life argument right now, but this is a 17-weeker. And the gruesomeness of her attitude is what has resonated with people in watching this.
I knew which were the cases that were probably more likely to yield what we needed, and I made my decisions according to that too. So it's worth having a huddle at the beginning of the day, and that's what I do.
You know, in negotiations, the person who throws out the figure first is at a loss, right? So.
And if they can do a little better than break even and do so in a way that, you know, seems reasonable, they're happy to do it.
The 2 big charges are you profit and you commingle. Can you prove that those are untrue? And if not, why wasn't it done at the hearing yesterday?
What did that reimbursement go towards?
I mean, it's, you know, it's very clear what it is. It's getting samples.
Brain, kidney, thymus, liver, spleen, femur, bone marrow.
How callous does one have to be to rob a baby of life and then charge others for the pieces of the corpse? This is beyond disturbing.
I want a Lamborghini. I said I want a Lamborghini.
I think the per item thing works a little better just because we can see how much we can get out of it.
To the providers like Dr. Amna Dermish.
I always try and keep the trunk intact just by function of always trying to aim for the spine to bring it down.
When you watch some of those doctors talking so cavalierly about what obviously is human life, I think it's disgraceful.
The Planned Parenthood research director in Texas talking about extracting intact fetus cadavers and body parts from abortions, interspersed with talk about budgets and money.
When we're coming in and making it beneficial to you financially, you can frame it so that that's... Yes. Okay. If we alter our process and we are able to obtain intact fetal cadavers. It's all just a matter of line items.
State health investigators have served subpoenas for records at several Planned Parenthood offices in Texas.
Texas does have hard evidence showing Medicaid fraud as well as violations of federal and state law concerning abortion procedures.
Fox has exclusively obtained letters and documentation outlining the contractual arrangement between STEM Express, a top fetal tissue procurement company, and several abortion clinics, including 2 Planned Parenthood affiliates.
I mean, Planned Parenthood has volume.
Right.
You know, because they're a volume institution.
Right.
Another 50 livers a week.
A price per tissue payment. That informs me that we're talking about the sale of a part and not some reasonable cost.
We have independent colleagues who generate a fair amount of income doing this.
Panel chair Marcia Blackburn alleges the contract shows STEM Express was allowed to illegally review patients' most private medical and personal information in order to match them up with the daily orders STEM Express had for specific fetal organs and body parts.
The technician then goes to the woman, befriends her, and coerces her to give consent by lying to her, and this is a Planned Parenthood order consent form.
I agree, that's an inappropriate statement and should not have been made on that form. I don't know who wrote it. That would not have made it past my IRB either.
I'm grateful to the entire Planned Parenthood family.
I'm gonna basically crush below, I'm gonna crush above, and I'm gonna see if I can get it all intact.
It's all just a matter of line items.
Since the videos were released, 26 states, more than half the country, have moved to strip Planned Parenthood of its taxpayer subsidies and reassign that money to full-spectrum, mainstream community health centers. And for the first time in history, Congress was able to put a bill on the president's desk to completely end Planned Parenthood's $500 million in taxpayer support. The only thing we now need to zero out 50% of Planned Parenthood's income is the signature of a president who will listen to us. For the past several months, the House Energy and Commerce Committee's Select Investigative Panel has been conducting the only comprehensive nationwide audit of the market in aborted baby parts. The dishonest press is treating their findings with a complete media blackout because their findings not only confirm everything that CMP's videos pointed to, but they show that the problem went even deeper than anyone ever imagined. The panel has found that Planned Parenthood and their business partners profited off the sale of aborted baby parts, used fraudulent and invalid consent forms to coerce their patients, and engaged in a 5-year-long systematic violation of patient privacy laws under HIPAA in order to fulfill the quotas that they had for harvesting the best baby body parts for profit. Shut them down. The panel detailed these findings in formal complaint letters filed with the Department of Health and Human Services this summer. Those letters include the actual contracts that some of the biggest Planned Parenthood affiliates in the country signed with the for-profit baby parts wholesaler, STEM Express. In the baby parts contract between STEM Express and Planned Parenthood Marmonti, the single biggest Planned Parenthood affiliate in the entire country, Planned Parenthood promises to divulge confidential patient medical information to the unlicensed contractors from STEM Express. And STEM Express promises to pay Planned Parenthood $55 for every fetal body part that is, quote, determined in the clinic to be usable. Now, Planned Parenthood Marmonti does over 18,000 abortions every year. If each abortion yielded just one usable fetal body part, then that contract would generate an extra $1 million profit margin for Planned Parenthood every year. You can imagine what Planned Parenthood and other abortion industry leaders must be thinking when they sit down with STEM Express to negotiate a baby body parts contract. Today is the 102nd day since those documents were revealed by the panel. And Planned Parenthood, aided and abetted by the corrupt establishment media, still has said nothing in response to the panel's incriminating findings. Planned Parenthood got caught by the videos, by the congressional investigation, and by the American people. And because they got caught, they have been working overtime to shoot the messenger, bury the videos, and pretend like all of this never happened. You may have heard about a little issue that I had in Texas not too long ago. Planned Parenthood's Houston lawyer actually colluded behind the scenes with a corrupt local prosecutor to protect Planned Parenthood from a grand jury investigation, and instead to issue bogus charges against me and one of my colleagues, Sandra Merritt. By bogus, I don't just mean politically motivated, I mean nonsensical. They actually wanted to charge me as a citizen journalist with attempting to purchase human organs, i.e., for pretending to do what Planned Parenthood has actually done for over a decade in Houston. And in the case of Planned Parenthood, the sales were actually completed, and we have the invoices. Discovery in this case and the DA's own court filings showed incredible admissions of corruption and abuse of the tools of the prosecutor's office in order to benefit Planned Parenthood as a third party. But when we were about to bring this whole mess in front of a judge, the district attorney ended up agreeing with us and moved to drop all of the charges before the facts about Planned Parenthood's illicit collusion with the prosecutor would be revealed in open court. Planned Parenthood tried to pull out all the stops to discredit me and bury the story, and ultimately they failed. Planned Parenthood's house of cards is falling down. And as more and more details continue to come to light from the congressional investigation and others about their illicit body parts trade, Planned Parenthood's abortion empire will begin to crumble. People sometimes wonder why there's such a focus on Planned Parenthood specifically. And Planned Parenthood loves to play the victim card as if they're just any other mainstream organization. In reality, the answer is simple. Planned Parenthood is the biggest abortion business in America. If Planned Parenthood were not such an abortion factory, parting out the body parts of viable children like widgets on an assembly line, there would be no controversy, I promise you. But they are now nearly 50% of the entire abortion industry and do 330,000 abortions every single year. No organization is as responsible as Planned Parenthood for the extermination and the commodification of our unborn brothers and sisters. And as they operate their mega clinics, as they expand their late-term abortion business, traffic baby body parts, and test experimental abortions with the help of over 520 million taxpayer dollars every year. And if that wasn't bad enough, Planned Parenthood then turns around and funnels millions of dollars into the election campaigns of their pro-abortion political allies, rigging the system so that they can make sure their feeding place at the government trough stays open and they never get held accountable for their barbarism. As the flagship of an abortion empire, Planned Parenthood provides the political firepower, the legal air cover, the public relations ground game, and the operations infrastructure that propels and props up the rest of the abortion industry. Without Planned Parenthood, industrial-scale, state-sponsored child killing in our country would be consigned to the ash heap of history where it belongs. Today, Planned Parenthood has never been more on the defensive in more places. They know that their baby body parts scandal could be the end of them if the people's elected representatives hold Planned Parenthood accountable to the law. We need to take this issue just as seriously as they do. And I can promise you one thing for the future. There will be more videos. Dozens of hours of some of the most damning footage my team ever filmed remains unreleased because of an unconstitutional gag order from a federal judge in San Francisco. These are the tapes from the National Abortion Federation's annual meetings, trade shows where the top abortion leadership of Planned Parenthood meet to plot the direction of the entire abortion industry. Planned Parenthood and NAF and their business partners and their allies are terrified of these tapes becoming public. The gag order is going to the Federal Appeals Court next month. When that order is overturned and we are able to release the tapes, it will be the final confirmation that Planned Parenthood is totally guilty. I want to thank all of you for your support and your encouragement and your engagement as we continue to fight Planned Parenthood in the courts, to expose their true character in the media, and to hold them accountable for the criminal sale of aborted baby body parts. If we stay focused and work together, we will speed the arrival of the day when there is no longer a price tag put on human life. Thank you.